Okay, Donald Trump's cognitive issues on full display. We just cannot ignore it anymore. As we get into that, Donald Trump at CPAC actually had the gall to make fun of Pete Buttigieg, saying that he was the worst transportation secretary in history. We have some fact checks on the other side.
I pardon hundreds and hundreds of Biden's political prisoners, including Christians, pro-life activists, and the J6 hostages who were treated terribly for years. We even got rid of people like Pete Buttigieg, who did the worst job of anybody in the history of transportation. What a bunch of losers.
One, I have heard that the January 6th insurrectionists are going to be performing at the Kennedy Arts Center. I've heard that, so that is on the horizon. But onto that second part, Pete Buttigieg had 0 commercial plane crashes or casualties as he was transportation secretary. Sean Duffy has had several. So Sean Duffy, already in just a month into his role as transportation secretary, has been worse than Pete Buttigieg was over 4 years. And I do love that he can say Pete Buttigieg's name, but he could never figure out how to say Kamala Harris's. So I wonder why that is. And here is, actually we'll get to that next, but this one right here is they're trying to find the gold in Fort Knox. And then I have Donald Trump talking about how we're spending too much money on transgender surgeries.
We're also going to Fort Knox. I'm going to go with Elon. And would anybody like to join us? Because we want to see if the gold is still there. We want to see. Wouldn't that be terrible? We open up this Fort Knox. It's just solid granite that's 5 feet thick. The front door, you need 6 musclemen to open it up. I don't even think they have windows. Wouldn't that be terrible if we opened it up and there was no gold there? So we're going to open those doors. We're going to take a look. And if there's 27 tons of gold, we'll be very happy. I don't know how the hell we're going to measure it, but that's okay. We want to see lots of nice, beautiful, shiny gold in Fort Knox. Don't be totally surprised. We open the door, we'll say, there's nothing here. They stole this too.
Okay, of course there's gold there, but does anyone else think, I know this is maybe sounds crazy, does anyone else think that they're going to try to take some gold? It just feels like the burglars have taken control of the bank and they are just trying to take as much money as possible. It just feels like they're going to go in there and they're going to be like, oh yeah, the gold is all here. Hey, everyone else, get out of this room, get out of the building for an hour, and let us just count it. Let us just count the gold. I don't even know what kind of world we're living in right now. And of course, this is where you know that there's something going on, because he doesn't have a sequential way of thought anymore. And look at what he says about how we're the richest country in the world, but now we spend too much on transgender operations.
Word tariff is my favorite word in the dictionary. You know, we were the richest relatively, think of this, from 1870 to 1913. That was our richest because we collected tariffs from foreign countries that came in and took our jobs and took our money, took our everything. But they charged tariffs, and we had so much money, they set up the 1887. Think of that, a long time ago. 1887 Tariff Commission. It was a commission of very important people to determine where we should spend all of the tremendous, vast wealth that we had. We had so much wealth. Wouldn't it be nice today? Of course, now we give it away to transgender this, transgender that. Everybody gets a transgender operation. It's just wonderful. No, we give it away like to crazy things. But in those days, it was different. It was a different world. It was a different country. But we were very rich.
Well, we also, I don't think anyone talks about this enough, but because we take it for granted for the fact that we have so many laws in place that protect workers and children, and we did not have child labor laws back then, so the workforce was also completely different. And I think "Make America Great Again" is, I mean, it's obviously like a stupid idea because America has always been imperfect, but certainly in the post-Civil War America is not the America I think that we want to bring back because it was great and bring it back again. So it's just more and more lunacy, and this whole idea of like transgender operations is the reason why this country is poor, which we're not. We are the richest country in the world by far. We could be 300 trillion in debt and it would be fine. Well, maybe not 300 trillion, but we could be much more in debt and we could cover it because the value our country produces and how much money we're worth far outweighs the little bit amount of debt we've acquired. And it certainly aren't 300 or $36 trillion in debt because of transgender operations. My God. And then Donald Trump had to be reminded that Germany has elections today. And to my Germany viewers, happy election day. And I hope it turns out the way that we all would like. But here's this.
Germany has elections on Sunday. What are your thoughts? What do you expect to happen in the elections on Sunday?
Who has elections?
Germany.
Oh, Germany. I wish them luck. We got our own problem.
Yeah, and then one final clip here is Donald Trump saying that he's basically being a gangster. This is a gangster move, not a good way, where he's trying to shake up the little guy to take them for everything they're worth. America used to be about defending the littlest people who believed in big ideas and believed in freedom and democracy. And now, I guess, people who fight for their own freedom, we shake them as they're down to try to take them for everything they're worth. It's disgusting.
Europe gave it in the form of a loan. They get their money back. We gave it in the form of nothing. So I want them to give us something for all of the money that we put up. And I'm going to try and get the war settled. And I'm going to try and get all that death ended. So we're asking for rare earth and oil, anything we can get.
I guess my one optimistic take on this is that if Ukraine does do this stupid deal, then maybe perhaps Ukraine will feel necessary for Donald Trump and we will continue defending it. That's my only hope. So anyways, yes, Donald Trump is insane. The Mad King is spewing out bullshit, but we will pay attention to it. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.